evening, YouTube. As you can see, it's late. If I was to turn this off, it's late. So, been busy. It's been a busy evening. It's currently almost 9 o'clock. It's coming up on bedtime for the gun monkey. But I want to get this in the mail. It is done. It's going back to Caleb. So, I did this knife. I told him I was going to get it done. It came out really well. I had a knife. Same company. I do believe that mine may have been a little bit bigger. I know the handle is different. The Condor makes, this is a Condor. It's a Kukri that they make. It is not a full traditional Kukri. It didn't have a sharpening notch. I actually had thought about and started to do a traditional Kukri style sharpening notch, which is typically 2 small notches at the base, and started it and thought better of it, and did more of my typical sharpening notch. Now, some people may criticize where it's placed, but the fact is it didn't matter, because the edge, I started my cut at where the usable edge was. It actually, this widened out all the way out to here. It started this really wide thing here, and I basically cut a V at the usable edge and brought it back so that I could get to it and sharpen it. Sharpened up real well. I don't know about how, these are typically tempered a little bit soft because they're a chopping tool, and to be able to absorb that kind of impact. So I don't know how well it's going to hold the edge. It's got some cloudy spots on the edge. I think there's some large grain carbides. Didn't want a mirror edge on this. See something we haven't sawn in a long time. I'm having a beer. It tastes horrible. I was afraid of that. Seizure meds make beer taste bad. But as you can see, I married in these shoulders. I did a really wide convex on it and married these shoulders into the wide convex that's on this. The convex grind, the convex grind back here, the secondary grind, was done very well. They did a really good job on it. Where it was really screwed up was this edge. It was very blunt. Like I said, I had one of these, same thing. I never could get mine sharp. I just never really could take the time. I never took the time to really put into it and try. Caleb asked me if I could sharpen it. He said he didn't want a mirror polish. I only took it up to 1,000 grit, but then I really did just drop the piss out of it, and he got pretty much close to mirror edge. It's pretty toothy. It's a pretty toothy edge. But I left it, it's never going to be a slicer. I left it a pretty thick edge on this, and just married it up because it needs to be. It's a chopper. It's designed to be a chopper. So what we're going to see here real quick is, and I'm going to leave this, I need to spend some time with my daughter. I haven't even seen her today. I was up at my Fair Forge, and I had a customer here at the house, and then I went up to Fair Forge. I did some anodizing on some, just to see how it would work, on some Damascus. Let's see. Like I said, it's not designed to be a slicer. If I could, it's damp. It's rained here, and my phone book was out here, and can't ever cut. Let me. So I mean, it's phone. It'll slice phone book paper. Clear back here in the recurve. But like I said, it's got some cloudy spots, I think, from the forging process. Now, so we've talked about this. Now, these are important. These knives are important because while this is not a true Gurkha Kukri, there are certain knives that when you when you see them, certain objects, certain edged blades, certain edged weapons, that when you see them, they summarize in your mind a specific group. The Gurkhas, the Nepalese Gurkhas, have for years been a group that the British military have used. And if you want to talk about some badass motherfuckers, talk about the Gurkhas. They are beasts. They are. Stories about them holding off groups and groups and groups of men without weapons and just doing it with one of these. And they use this for everything. They use this as their multi-purpose tool. They use this to cut their food. They use this for everything. So basically, this is their go-to. This is the symbol of the Gurkhas. A lot like when you think of Vikings, for me, I think of their battle axe. Or when I think of samurais, I think of the katana. Or when I think of, you know, when I think of Native Americans, I think of the tomahawk. There's certain things, there's certain weapons that in your head that bring up a group. For me, the Gurkhas, I think of this. So it's a pretty historically significant weapon. And it is. I mean, I could not imagine the devastation that one of these could inflict. You could chop someone in half with one of these. It is so effective I mean, like I said, I had one, and even when it's not sharp, it will do some serious damage. So yeah. So Caleb, we've talked back and forth. I hope you're happy with it. It's sharp. It's definitely not the prettiest job, because like I said, a lot of that, not trying to make any excuses, it's crazy. It's, as my name implies, it's crazy sharp. A lot of it has to do with the forging process, and you get some large grain carbides in there. And I did a multi-angle convex on that, where I married the shoulders together, and so you get some of that. But like I said, a lot of work. It's, like I said, it's stupid sharp for a Kukri. For something that's designed to be a chopping tool, you're gonna have some slicing for this. I mean, it's not meant to be a slicer, but it'll do it. Let's see. Oh yeah. So I didn't want this video. Can you see him on there? Let's see. Can you see? Yeah. Can you see him on there? There they are. Didn't want this video to be this late. There's beard hairs. So I didn't want this video to be this late. It's gonna be late when it posts. A lot of people aren't gonna see it till tomorrow. I did promise Caleb I was going to do a video about it, but it is a really nice knife. The problem that you get is a lot of times that the actual cutting edge is misground. So what you get is one edge is going to look wider than the other, just specifically because it's misground. It really is. And does it affect? No, I married those two edges up. It's ground. It's just ground a little funny. It's gonna look a little funny, but very good cutting tool. So I hope you enjoy it, Caleb. I'm gonna post a couple pictures in. The guys up at Fair & Forge helped me out. My friend Mark, you've heard me talk about Mark and Macover LLC. He does vapes. He does high-end vapes. He had some Mokutai or Timascus, I can't remember which they were, faceplates for some vapes that he wanted done. And I asked the guys, I said, hey, do you mind if I come up and do it? I'm curious, you know, can you electroanodize? Can you electroanodize it? And I said, yeah, you can. You just don't get near the contrast you get when you heat it. So he wanted to see. So I did a plate at 70, which came out purple, 70 volts. I did one at 80 volts, which came out blue and purple. And then I did one at 90 volts, which came out gold, or like a green and gold. So I'll post some pictures of that. So what I did was I went up and I spent there's some work that goes into that. I did not realize how uneven Timascus or Mokutai comes when it comes in a plate. So they had already been milled, but I faced them nice and flat, and then polished them, and then anodized them. I gave them back to Mark, and I don't know. He said just depends. He's gonna see. There might be some interest in that, but I'll put him on there. It might be something that he's gonna maybe invest in the equipment and have me do. If I do get some anodizing equipment, I've said it before, I would like to start offering anodizing as a service. You know, small stuff. I would love to start, if you guys, you know, I know that the anodizing starts to wear off of some of your knives. If you wanted something, you know, hey, could you, you know, I'll get some multi-edge. Hey, could you make this blue again? Am I gonna be as good at it as Chris? No. Chris is amazing. Chris Williamson gets some of the most amazing color that I've ever seen in anything. I was up there today and I was just amazed. As a matter of fact, I was asking him questions. I did the anodizing myself, and I think it came out good. I did my ring green. I know it's not going to show up under the fluorescent light. I tried to match it to my pocket clip that he did, and I thought I did an okay job. I might post a picture of that. But these little skills that I'm refining and kind of not necessarily teaching myself. I'm kind of like to think I'm teaching myself, but I'm getting a little assistance from it. These are things that I would like to start adding into this little gambit of things that I would like to do. And granted, I would have to charge a good bit at first until I can account for the cost. A power supply is going to cost me about $600. That's a lot of money right now for me. We're getting ready to buy this house. I have a daughter that ice skates that costs a lot of money. So if that is something that you guys would be interested in from me, let me know. I might just eat that cost for now, and if there's enough of you interested, I'd hate to have a bunch of you go, yeah, it's something we're interested in, and then not have any of you ever send me anything. That would suck dick. That would suck balls real quick. I'd be like, I really wish I hadn't spent that $600. So, Caleb, I'm going to try and package this up. Another note I would like to say, the sheath on this one is much nicer than the sheath ever was on mine. My sheath was really kind of crappy. These Condor is making some nicer ones, nicer sheaths. The handle and everything is really nice. And it came with the blade had kind of a varnish on it. I put the liquid electric tape all over it to try and maintain some of the edge. I knew that it was going to get a lot of grit and gunk, and I didn't want to have water stains on the blade. So hopefully you're happy with it. I would hate to have somebody that sent me something saying that, you know, how happy they are that, you know, one of their favorite YouTubers is actually working on their knife, be disappointed with my work. But I mean, you know, there's very else little that I can do to this cosmetically, just because of the way it was forged. So like I said, hope you're happy with it. Have a couple razors that I need to do. Like I said, I'm going to put some pictures of that stuff in. I can't think of anything. There was something else I wanted to throw in on this, and I can't remember what it was. Well, you guys have a good evening. I'm at a loss. Oh, I remember what it was. Boker knives. I wanted to caveat. My last video, I said that Boker knives were shit. Modern Boker knives are shit. One of these vintage straight razors that this gentleman brought me today, is a Boker. Let me caveat. Modern Boker knives have a tendency to be garbage and shit knives. Back in the day, Boker, old Boker used to make incredibly nice stuff. Like Puma and Boker made really nice stuff, and then they've really tapered off. Like I said, I'm hoping that Quaken is indicative of them making better things. So 15 minutes, I got to cut this. I really need to get in there and spend some time with my daughter. I haven't got to spend any time with her today. All right, you guys, have a good evening, and maybe next time it won't be so dark when I make my video.